Hey guys, it's Chef Jason, and fresh off a trip to my local Ace Hardware, I have got my big green egg gasket in hand, and it is time to show you today another one of our fun maintenance videos on how to replace the gasket on your big green egg. Simple and easy. This is going to be a fast video. It's really not a challenge, but I noticed during my last cook that it was definitely time. So, like I said, I grabbed the gasket. I've got some zip ties, a couple different wrenches. You know I love the 6-in-1 paint tool, right? I have a scrub brush, wire brush just to help get off any extra adhesive, a little bit of acetone for cleaner, my GloveWorks gloves, rags in a box. It's that simple. So let's dig in here and get this disassembled. We'll show you how to take it apart, get it all started, get ready to go. It's time for us to get in here and take the dome off. So first thing I'm going to do is loosen the front handle here. I'm on my extra large egg today, so I'm just going to loosen these acorn nuts, or the nut caps as we call them. Take these guys off. Be careful to make sure I save those washers. But I want to be able to have a little bit of flex in here. Take both sides off so we can get to the dome. We took the front handle off. We've got those tabs set. Now we'll go ahead and just start loosening this. And we're gonna loosen both these guys up until that band has got some play in it, because the ultimate goal here, right, is to get everything out of the band, right? I'm gonna take the band off the top and the band off the bottom as well. So we'll get that finished. Then we're gonna make sure those hinges don't open up, and we're gonna get that band taken off. All right, as you can see, I went ahead and put zip ties on here, and I'm gonna make sure they're nice and snug, because the goal is to make sure this hinge doesn't open on me, right? It'll just make it a little bit easier when it comes time to head back up front and take off the dome. All right, now we're at the hinge, right? So we're gonna go ahead and take these guys off too on both sides, releasing any pressure on that hinge, making the dome even easier to take off. All right, so just making sure you're extra careful. I like to just slide that out of the band just a little bit, right? Releasing that dome, and then we're carefully going to set the dome to the side. Now, we'll go ahead and take everything out of the inside of the big green egg. We'll get the band off the bottom, and we are set and ready to go. All right, so we took off the dome, we took off the bands. We are ready to employ the 6-in-1 paint tool, and just like that, go around the entire surface of this. And don't worry about any of this leftover, because we're gonna come back with the stiff wire brush and a little bit of acetone. We'll get all that off. But now, time to scrape the gasket and get ready to scrape the top next. We got that all scraped off, and again, we're super careful to make sure with the paint tool we are not gouging into our ceramic. We want to make sure we are set. Now, what I'll do is take this wire brush and go through and get off any left behind before I get ready to clean it up with the acetone. Get just a little bit of acetone on our rag, and now we're gonna go through here, take off all the rest of that adhesive. It's important to get all of this off because we wanna make sure that gasket sticks. And you can see that acetone does a fantastic job taking everything off. As you feel your towel dry, add a little bit more, making sure this is no longer tacky. We've taken everything off that we need. There you have it. We are all prepped and ready. You can feel around here, we've got all the gummy off. It's nice and smooth, right? It's back to what it was supposed to be. All right, it's time to put the gasket on. As you can see, I went ahead and cut that at an angle, because when it's time to put it back together, it's gonna fit much, much better. Now, I'm gonna leave the gasket material in the roll it came on. I don't wanna try to judge it and see where I'm at and potentially not have enough to go around. So first thing we're gonna do is peel off the backing, right? Exposing the sticky. I'm just gonna do a little bit. Now, what I wanna do is start, like I said, right in the back. I want the edge of the gasket to be lined up with the inside of the big green egg. So once I get it set, pull a little more gasket and slowly go around and set your gasket just like that. And all right, so as we come around the back side of this, I'm doing the same thing again, just making sure that I am all lined up. Now, one of the things, don't pull on the gasket material. We don't need to pull on it. There is more than enough to go around. And then what happens when you pull on it is we get kind of a weird flat spot. So just naturally guide it as you go around, make sure it's all seated and ready to go. And then right here, you guys, when you get to this corner, look what I did, right? I can see right where that crease is, and I'm just gonna follow that along and make sure I am all set and ready to go. Now, I'm gonna go through and go ahead and go around and push this guy down to make sure everything is seated properly. All right, so it's gonna be the same process for your dome, right? We're gonna start at the seam, we're gonna scrape this off as well, brush it, use the acetone, and get this all set and ready to go. So we'll do the same process we did on the base on the dome and get that all set and ready to go. Well, now it's time to put the rings back on because we're gonna put the dome back on. So we basically repeated the same process for installing that new gasket on the dome. And we're gonna go ahead, what I'm gonna do first is I'm actually gonna tighten this bottom band down just a little bit, enough to hold it because that extra large dome is pretty heavy. So we wanna make sure that band is just tiny bit snug to help hold everything. And then make sure we are lined up so that we are centered right on the front here for that lid to open and shut. So we'll show you how to do that next. Got the dome set, and what I'm going to do is carefully guide this back into its position and get it all set and ready to go into the ring. Then, once we have it set, you guys, takes a little bit of wiggling. All right, we verified we are even, right? And I like to make sure I am lined up and I am definitely centered here, maybe just a little bit this way, but we're good to go. So now what we'll do is we're gonna head down here, make sure everything is lined up on the gasket, and then I'm gonna show you how to adjust your band. I know what you're thinking. How am I ever going to get this lined up? Well, look at this. The newer eggs that come with the tab on the handle that help hold the dome in place, this is perfect because those sit right at that 1/4 inch gap. So if you can get these guys on there and get them snug, guess what? Now I've got my first round of adjustment, then I'm just gonna make sure I've got a 1/4 inch gap all the way here. And now I can adjust the bottom and make sure I've got that 1/4 inch gap there as well. But pretty easy, right? As long as we have a 1/4 inch here and a 1/4 inch there, we are set to go. All right, so now we get towards the side. You can see we've done a pretty nice job getting everything lined up, right? So we've got that 1/4 inch gap on the top. Now we're gonna go ahead and tighten this up. And like we always said, this is okay if it's bent. It's supposed to be bent. That tells you that that is snug. And you don't wanna snug it down so much that you're gonna snap your dome, but that's okay if it has a little bit of bend in it. You definitely want it to be snug so it doesn't throw that dome. So now we'll go ahead and finish that up too, get that top band complete. All right. One of the last things we need to do now is tighten this guy down. And normally what I do is just push on it good. And that gets it usually right back into place. You can tell where the little wear spots are, right where these guys were before. So get those on and then snug them down. Again, not trying to over tighten and break anything, just trying to snug tight to make sure we keep these guys all set and ready to hold that lid on for some pretty solid cooks. All right, you guys, how was that for fast and super exciting maintenance video? We've got the gasket all changed here. We are ready to fuel some solid cooks. Now, the gasket has been replaced. We're gonna leave this alone for 24 hours and let this cure because that is definitely the most important part now is making sure that gasket is seated and making sure it is cured. Super easy on the tools today. We got our gasket from our local Ace Hardware, but we are set and ready to go. Today, we've got a great tip sheet for you. We actually walk you through step by step how to do that. So you can click, print, and follow along, head down below in the description section and grab that tip sheet there. Then while you're down there, it is time to do what you always do. Leave us a comment, leave us your questions, and let us know what would you like to see and definitely how we can be more helpful, or what do you want to learn how to cook? That's another good one too. And then don't forget to subscribe to the Ace Hardware YouTube channel. Click on those notifications, tell all your friends, because they don't want to be left in the dark, right? They want to make sure they've got all this amazing content at their fingertips and on their phones. Then at the very end of this, we would never leave you hanging, right? So we walked through a little bit of maintenance on the gasket today, but at the end of this video, we're going to show you what to do annually, kind of that annual maintenance on your big green egg as well. And then we're going to show you deep cleaning. That's right. We're going to keep the maintenance theme going here and show you how to dig in and do some awesome deep cleaning as well. So I'm Chef Jason Morse, your Ace Hardware grilling expert. Thank you for hanging out with us today and learning how to change your gasket on the big green egg. We'll see you soon at your local Ace Hardware.